This is Mutabaruka. We want to present to you a wholesome kind of level of consciousness right now. So subscribe and tell your friend them. This is Mutabaruka. A whole heap of people understand, at least not understand, but hear something that relate to how the British come here and the Spaniards come in the Caribbean here and take away. Them take away from Africa and bring around here for them sugar cane and them cotton. But there is a part of slavery that is hardly spoken of, and it don't have nothing to do with white people. It has something to do with the Arabs. The Arab slave trade. The Arab slave trade lasts longer than the white people slave trade. And you hardly hear about that, and maybe it's because a whole heap of black people see themselves as Muslim. Why them talk less of it. Now we know that the Portuguese was in Africa. And the Portuguese in Africa is a really serious problem, because even Christopher Columbus, a lot of people don't know this, but Christopher Columbus was one of the sailors on the Portuguese ship who got into Africa. And there is a pathway to Europe that no one spoke of or speak of when them talk about enslavement of black people. And that is the trek across the Sahara Desert into Europe, into what we call Southern Europe. Them used to take our ancestors, chain them up and carry them across the desert and carry them into France and all the other places. So it's not every African who was enslaved did come to this part of the world. No, sir. A whole heap away they go across the Sahara Desert. But even within that, before the Europeans go there, the Arabs them take hold of it, because they were spreading them Islamic religion. And most of North Africa get caught in that Islamic religion. To the point where you have Africans now give up them Africanness and mostly talk about Islam. As a matter of fact, a whole heap of these Africans call anybody who was like Muslims infidels. Can you believe that? Infidels. That means if he's not Muslim, whether you're black or whatsoever, you're supposed to dead. Yes, that is really the cry of Muslims, of Islam across Northern Africa. And we see right now the Arabs take over the whole of Northern Africa. And a whole heap of people believe, say, when we talk about Egypt and them to the people, them can't picture that. It's not so the original Kemetic people them they look. Because the majority of Arabs don't live in Arabia. The majority of Arabs live in Egypt. And they colonize Northern Africa, go right into Mali. Right into Mali. And them leave them devastation there. And you have some black people who rise up called the Moors. And the Moors go into a place named Granada, inside of Spain, and was giving them high culture. Yet our Europeans them. If you go to a place named Bordeaux, I don't know if I pronounce it right, Bordeaux, in France. Most of the street them and the building them was built by African people. The mosaic and all these things was built by African people who them call Moors, the black ones. Yet still, the Moors never see themselves as African. They see themselves as Muslims. And when them reach across to the west of Africa, they never feel no way to take the so-called African people who was not Muslims and give to the white people them. Because even today, if you go into Jamaica, in a Moortown, a lot of Arab language is in, even the greeting Salam Alaikum. Salam Alaikum is found amongst the Muslims, the Maroons them in a Moortown. And you wonder how the Maroons them get that, because the Arabic culture was deep into West Africa. Deep, when we say deep, I mean deep. I remember I said them they did it long before the Europeans got there. So they was part of the enslavement of African people long before the Europeans got there. But we hardly hear anybody talk of that aspect of it. Because as I say, maybe it's because a whole heap of black people find themselves giving credence to Islam. But Islam, Christianity, all of them is no friend of Africa. No friend of Africa. None of them have Africa in them consciousness as people who has contributed a lot to the world civilization. Them see we as commodities to be enslaved and worked and cotton steel and plantation and any other menial jobs. Up to this day, them still do it. We as African people have to rise up out of that and understand the history. Understand the history. Because meanwhile them was dealing with the Africans them in a Spain. Them King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella decided that them going to run out all of the African them out of Spain. Because them did not deal with too much things that was un-Catholic. And in 1492 them started thinking the Inquisition. Most of you might have heard of the Inquisition. The same 1492 Christopher Columbus make him voyage to this part of the world. But the Inquisition started because a whole heap of people need to be destroyed because them wasn't with the papacy or the Pope of Rome. And that is why the Inquisition started. And most of them was Muslims and people what they call Christians who never give credence to Rome. It's a serious thing. We need to go back into the history and study the Arab influence on Africa and how the Arab them enslave African people. This is Mutabaruka. We want to present to you a wholesome kind of level of consciousness right now. So subscribe and tell your friend them. This is Mutabaruka.
If you're a vegetarian, you will live longer. And if you're vegetarian, you know, you're healthier and all them something there. But given the crisis that we're in now, all the way is susceptible to what man create in the atmosphere with them chemical germs and them chemical warfare. We are all victims of human beings' corruption of nature. Now it is good to be a vegetarian because I have been a vegetarian most of my life and I find it the best way. And it helps. But we need to understand how vegetarians connect to the environment. Because really and truly now, they must show you say, which is true, livestock farming do more destruction to the environment than the SUV them and the plane them are flying in the air. Livestock farming is the biggest contribution to carbon in the air. Them have a thing named methane gas. Anytime the cow them fart and all them really, them send out a gas named methane gas, which is very destructive. And given the course of event we are going in our earth now, methane gas is everywhere. But you still can't see say, in order for man to survive, man have to go to the plant. Man have to go to the plant because it takes less land to get more food than where the cow them take up. Because we are passing all in Jamaica and see land on top of land and all 3 cows upon the land. You know how much peas and plantain and banana can grow in them land there. But we insist we have this livestock. And then you have ones and ones who say them is vegetarian. And them a eat fish. How a vegetarian can eat fish? The argument about vegetarian come from vegetable. There's no fish growing on trees. There's no fish in the plant world. Fish come from sea. Fish is flesh. You can't be vegetarian and eating fish. A whole heap of man eat fish because they might read Bible and talk about, you know, catch fish and all them really. Them throw them net and fishers have men and all them something there. Them think there's some old time foolish Bible thinking. We must understand that the argument for vegetarians should not be specifically for health to the human beings, but life in total, all flesh in total. Because just one life, different manifestation of the flesh. Your life not different from the cow life and the goat life and the pig life. It's just a manifestation that causes it look like it's different. And we have to really yield to that. So our destruction of the planet is not what it means the planet going to be destroyed. It means a man will be miserable on the planet and can't live on it. So here's some environmentalists that talk about the earth is going to be destroyed. No, the earth will not be destroyed. It's man going to get destroyed. Because it's destruction of nature and when nature have to offer. It's not suitable for nature and life on the planet. So the nature have a way for recycle and do all sort of thing. Nature brings storm and hurricane and tsunamis and them things that man can't handle. We have to understand how to respect animals. We are talking about animal life we are dealing with now. All the animal them that is on earth should be part of the process of incorporated in nature. So meanwhile they are talking about you have to eat vegetarian diet to live longer. A man around there a breed up whole heap of animal and a cause your air pollution, your air sustenance getting less and less, so no matter how much vegetable you eat. If the pollution still in the atmosphere, it don't make no sense. It's a human thing, it's a communal thing, where everyone have to come together and understand how my life and the destruction of one life is the destruction of many lives. You understand? And we have to understand how the land play a part in it. Land is power. If you don't have no land, you don't have any power. It's just simple that. Real estate is the key. And now we see through all this COVID thing, everybody around about plant. If you have plant, and you have the carbon, the methane gas all over, the cow, the goat, all of them things there, a fart all over the place. And the methane gas gone in the atmosphere. Worse than the bus you are driving in front of you with a whole heap of carbon monoxide in front of you. We have to understand what vegetarianism means. You have white people who say lacto-vegetarian and vegan vegetarian. Lacto-vegetarian say you drink milk and you eat cheese and all them something there. Vegan vegetarian now them say exempt all of these things. But vegan vegetarian means that you don't even wear it. You're not supposed to kill the animal them to put on leather shoes and leather belt and leather hat and all them something there. It's joke business. It's joke business. It's a community thing and a communal thing we are living. Life is one life. One life. It's just different manifestation of the flesh. So we have to respect all flesh that we come in contact with. Or else we going to be the destruction of our own self. This is Mutabaruka. We want to present to you a wholesome kind of level of consciousness right now. So subscribe and tell your friend them. This is Mutabaruka. I don't know how it reach the level where it reach, especially amongst the Rastafari community. But it's something, you know, when we just start Rasta, I hear Rasta talk about Zion. You know, you have some little song where them sing, we want to go to Zion, or you can't go to Zion with no carnal mind. And Zion is a holy place, no sin can enter there. Now, I have the opportunity to go to Zion in Jerusalem, the city of the great king, which was King David, according to how them write it. when it say, the Bible say, Zion, it talk about a city in Jerusalem, or upon the outskirts of Jerusalem. It's a mountain top. Not very tall mountain, because today you can find tourists venture out there. I remember them show one place and them said this is where David's tomb is. I don't know what the hell them talking about, but me and Tony Rebel have the opportunity to go in there. I said, well, David buried inside that, so I joke business still, card for me check it. Anyway, Rasta talk about Zion over the years, and you know, him then shift from Jerusalem Zion to Ethiopia Zion. So most Rasta when them talk about Zion, them really talk about Ethiopia as Zion. And the reason being is that we tend to have a Judeo-Christian mindset as it relates to Rastafari, and it's very difficult for Rastas to come out of that Judeo-Christian mindset, especially when him associate and validate most of him thinking with Judeo-Christianity. Now, I've recently can't remember one long time a whole heap of elder Rasta that them can't dead, them not dead, and if you're dead, I show you're wicked. And yeah, them used to say that. For those of you who don't know that, them used to say, if you're wicked, if you're dead, I show you're wicked. And them now say that. Yet still, since we hear that, I Rasta nearly 50 years now, over 50 years now, I see a whole heap of ones who used to say dead. And even Peter Tosh should have said him can't dead. I remember Peter Tosh said him can't dead till his wife started believe that she can't dead neither. And now we say, him gone. No, why may I bring up that? Rasta must stop talk about when a Rasta dead him gone to Zion. It's foolishness. And it's the only way you say that is because you think in the heaven perspective where you start to claim say. Instead of you say heaven, you say Zion. So you're a Rasta, you say Zion. Christians say heaven. You say, well, them gone to be a better place. Oh, you know, say it's a better place. When a Rasta say, a man, a Rasta dead and him gone to Zion. How come all of a sudden it's pure dead Rasta in a Zion? When I never did see it that way there. I never did hear Rasta talk about it that way there. But recently I hear Rastas dead and I say, boy, I give thanks him gone to Zion, a better place. A madness. We get caught in the same Judeo-Christian mindset that we did move away from. We move away from it and we come get caught in it now. We need to really evaluate these interpretations that we have and how Judeo-Christianity has played a part in pacifying thinking, pacifying consciousness and pacifying awareness. There is no better place in Zion. Zion right now, the physical manifestation is a tourist attraction. And if you talk about Zion now as a heavenly place, then you have to go really resort back to Bible and Christianity. And that what it say. We have been out for a long time, Roman this and Roman that and all them things there. It's really a weird situation. I find more and more and more now. When Rasta dead, Rasta man say, them gone to Zion. Or, well, you know, them gone to a better place, them gone to Zion. That is what old people who are Christian used to say, not Rasta. Rasta never say Zion as a place of dead Rastas. Or Ethiopia. When man say, I want to repatriate to Zion, it means I want to repatriate to Ethiopia. So by the time I say I want to go Ethiopia, then I talk about him go Zion. Because that show how deep him in that Judeo-Christian mindset. That him can't say nothing outside of that. So him start to associate all of the things them that is real with the unreality of the things them that him believe. And it's really a belief system that caught a whole heap of Rasta over the years. Whole heap of belief system. You know, man say him can't dead, and as a matter of fact, him quote some things in the Bible. Quote some things in the Bible where I show you say it's only the wicked dead. But I and I live forever. But when I say live forever, you know, I'm not talk about a spiritual awakening, a spiritual manifestation. I'm not talk about physical. Only for Rasta believe that and still believe it. Still believe it. Say him can't dead. After him dead in the earth and see so much things are going around him. After him in the earth and see all this pollution and this wickedness and man terrible things against man. Him sit down in the earth and say, that I go pass over him. No, sir. No, sir. This is ridiculous. We must stop saying it because it come like we turn wayward. Come like we turn wayward now. We must stop saying it. There is no dead place for Rastas named Zion. And if I go talk about dead place with Rastas in Zion, I better we just talk about heaven and done. Because not that we did that in the beginning. You know, and if we start talk about heaven now, I better we just talk about Jesus. And we could talk about all of the things them that we say we are moved from. And start find this new cultural expression, this new revolutionary expression in the Rastafari.